This is Get Inspired with Lyeese. Thanks for joining me. Today's topic: waiting in action, attitude, and assignment. Feel like giving up, quitting, throwing in the towel? This is a normal response when things not only get difficult, but even more so when it seems like they never let up. Satan is interested in wearing us down in mind and spirit. Do not give him the authority. He only has power when we give him power. Refocus your attention on the strength you can obtain from Christ. Do not faint. If you do nothing during a difficult time, then your strength is limited. Giving up, quitting, and throwing in the towel keeps us in a do nothing mode. We must push and press to keep from fainting. Recognize where you need a little more strength. Search out God's word to help with those weak areas. Nothing is too hard for God. Also, nothing is too hard for you to handle with Christ. Make sure you're not tackling these problems on your own. We can't rely on our own strength. We need the help of Christ. Fainting requires us to be awakened, found, or even shaken by Christ. We can eliminate hitting the ground when we surround ourselves with the comfort of His Word. Often, the reality of it is we don't want to be preached to when we are constantly going through the same things. Been there, done that, right? However, our strength is really in the encouragement of His Word. He can minister to you through others, but He also desires for you to seek Him for yourself. The benefit of it all is that it will keep us from fainting. It's much harder to get up than to stay up. If you're already up, although shoved and pushed by constant distress, you can connect with His Word and have more strength to keep standing. Nothing is capable of knocking you down unless you give it free access to. Fighting keeps us from fainting, although fighting the right way is what is needed. Fight by the Spirit, not by flesh. If you're weak and tired, revisit how you've chosen to fight the battle. It's natural to feel tired when we're pressed by the constant restraints of life. The question is, are we tired because it's a flesh fight or spirit fight? And I'm not just talking about being tired from a long day. The form of tiredness I'm speaking of is no longer having the strength to keep moving, feigning in midair, dropping alongside the problem. Maybe it no longer seems worth it to fight it. That's just a bad thought seed planted in your mind by Satan. It is a battlefield of the mind. Redirect your thoughts. You owe it to yourself to win this and every battle. You are victorious. Do not allow it to knock you out of the race. The Lord is with you when you are with Him. There will be glory after this. 1 Corinthians 16:13 NIV says, "Be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong." Galatians 6:9 GWT says, "We can't allow ourselves to get tired of living the right way. Certainly, each of us will receive everlasting life at the proper time if we do not give up." 2 Chronicles 20:17 NIV says, "You will not have to fight this battle. Take up your positions, stand firm, and see the deliverance the Lord will give you, Judah and Jerusalem. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Go out to face them tomorrow, and the Lord will be with you." Ephesians 6:13 NIV says, "Therefore put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand." Have you never heard? Have you never understood? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of all the earth. He never grows weak or weary. No one can measure the depths of His understanding. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Even youths will become weak and tired, and young men will fall in exhaustion. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:28-31. In moments of weakness, our strength is limited. We may feel like a tree that has decayed or is falling, limbs and branches that are broken, or flowers that are withered. When we put our trust and hope in the Lord, He will give us new strength. He will revive and renew us. The new strength that He gives will never cause us to be continually weary. Running after and with Christ keeps us from becoming fatigued in our own strength. As we lean on His promises, look to Him to handle our difficulties and disappointments, and wait on His response, the result is new strength. There's no doubt about it. Difficulties will arise. However, we can rest in His peace, and He will sustain and uphold us. As we're waiting on the Lord, our good courage is a result of our actions, attitudes, and assignments. What we do, how we respond, and what God has assigned us to do in the wait plays a major role on our new strength. Waiting has never meant to do nothing. Waiting is an action and attitude. Our response must be to give our difficulties to Christ. That is the action. Have good courage and allow Christ to encourage us in His word. That is the attitude. And follow Christ's direction in our renewed strength. That is the assignment. We all become weak and weary, but Christ wants us to give our weaknesses to Him, and He will give us His power. He will bear your burdens and give you deliverance in His timing. Without weariness, we can run freely and resist any bondage. There is a new kind of life presented as you wait on the Lord. The new strength gives you faith and hope. Waiting brings the needed strength for working. Waiting on God makes us strong in work for God. In return, God works for him that have waited. Remember, waiting doesn't mean do nothing. Actually, it means the total opposite. Get to work. Activate your faith. It really doesn't matter how long or short the wait is. If the wait is worth waiting for, then keep waiting. This is a faith-building process with no fainting or fearing. Keep whatever you're believing from God very much alive with your faith. Don't give it a death sentence by exposing it to fear. You have the power to determine its outcome. One of our challenges, we spend more time rehearsing the obvious. We fail to rehearse the outcome. Faith will cause you to rehearse what you believe, not what you see. Choose life. It is sustained through your corresponding action. With fear, it can't even be raised from the dead. Do not let your wait become a weight. And I'll say that again. Do not let your wait, W-A-I-T, become a weight, W-E-I-G-H-T. You're waiting on your blessing, not weighted with a burden. Press a little further. Isaiah 64:4 says, "For since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, nor has the eye seen any God besides you, who acts for the one who waits for him." While you're in a waiting period, redeem the time by getting closer to God. Use the time for preparation and growth. Keep the faith. While waiting, it may appear nothing has happened naturally so. Spiritually so, everything is unfolding, and the manifestation will come at the appointed time. Make the most of your opportunity. Stay awake and do not procrastinate. Here at Get Inspired, we have a prayer list called 100 Blessings from God and efforts to pray for others and see the manifestation of God's blessings through your prayer request. When prayers are answered, we add another prayer as they are requested with the opportunity to pray for hundreds. If you desire prayer, please drop your request in the comments below or send us an email at getinspired.thejourney@gmail.com. This is Get Inspired with Lyeese. Thanks for joining me. Be safe, blessed, and prosperous.